Welcome back to another episode of Tete-a-Tete. Literally, it means face to face, but what we are going to have here is a heart to heart chat about the aviation industry, the largest department in the airline operations is the ground handling, where there has been a lot of untold stories. We are going to unfold all of them. The word Tete-a-Tete was a word suggested by Sasanka De Silva, the RAM supervisor in Oman. By the time we joined, he was leading the teams there, mentoring, coaching, and training them as well. We have Sasanka De Silva. Sasanka, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We also have Mr. Kumudu Karyapkaru, known to be Mr. Evergreen. He works out, mind you, keeping himself young. I will not declare how old he is because you can see he's there. Anyone joining the aviation industry, he's a fabulous example to stay fit as well. He is also playing a leading role in the baggage services, which is where everyone comes and cries, where is my bag? The moment you lose a bag, a moment a passenger loses a bag, he becomes a very, very important person. He is capable of finding missing bags. How he does it is a magic. Kumudu, thank you for joining us for our program.
Thank you.
Kumudu, let me start with you. Can you quickly give us an introduction about you and how you came to the industry and when you joined the aviation industry?
Yes, going back to my history, I joined with Air Lanka, now known as Sri Lankan Airlines. I have been working with them almost 3 years, then moved to Oman. Now I'm currently based in Oman and working as baggage officer. So this is my short story about aviation field.
Just the two stops. Just the two stops from Air Lanka. You were not there when it became Sri Lankan Airlines. No.
No, it was actually happened. I think after we left from Sri Lanka.
All right. Okay. But we have Sasanka. Will quickly go to Sasanka. Sasanka, tell us about yourself. I know you have a little more than Kumudu's movement in the aviation industry.
Yes. I joined in 1980, early part of 1980. Worked there for 5 years. Then got a chance to go abroad. Worked for almost 3 years in Middle East, to be exact, Oman. Then for some reasons, personal reason, I had to come back. And then I started working for Pakistan Airlines. And I served them 7 years. And this time I have decided to go abroad again because of financial reasons. And then I went back to Oman again. And in 2018, I retired once I reached the age of 60. So that is I work for not Sri Lankan, Air Lanka, Pakistan Airlines, Oman Aviation, and Oman Air. Yes.
All right. So the changes in the company names, company management styles has all both of you gone through in Oman. For you, Sasanka, you have gone through few airline experiences as well.
True. Yes.
All right. Kumudu, tell us about these baggage services. Someone loses a bag. So tell us how this happens.
Okay. If you come to the subject, it's you have to explain a lot, but I'll give you a brief explanation about what is happening. Just basically provide. As a section, to provide immediate assistance to the customers, those who are baggage is mishandled, and return to them as soon as quickly as possible. That is the main job that what we are doing there. Losing a bag, yes, there are so many reasons actually. When you talk about the subject, like normally what you can see, you just you are going to the airport and you go to the checking counters and you hand over your baggage to the agent over there, and they put the baggage tag. And the behind all these things, there are a lot of things happening behind you at the ramp area, loading area. Let's say if you have a if you are traveling, let's say with the transit points, then at the the transit points. So then there are a lot of activities behind the what you're seeing when you go to the airport. So during this process, due to human error or the equipment problems, so the nature of handling the baggage, so all these things will happen to reasons. There are so many reasons actually. The baggage can be can get mishandled, like let's say like if someone when you reach this bag to the loading area, if someone forget to load this bag, then we can treat it as a mishandled bag. Sometimes the baggage, when you put a baggage tag, it can come off from the bag. So there's another reason. So when you have a connecting flights, maybe one when you have connecting flights, when one flight got delayed and you miss the next flight, so during that time also, yeah, there's a possibility. I mean, there's a possibility they'll mishandle your bag. So there are so many reasons to get mishandle your bag.
All right, Sasa, he mentioned there is a lot of things happening behind. We as a customer or passenger walks in, hand over the bags to the airline staff, and then they step on the belt and it goes off. They put a tag. Behind the belt, what happens there?
First and foremost, the bag goes to the baggage sorting area. Those days, talking about the early 80s, it was drop in belts and all, no circular belts. So first thing what we do is segregate them according to the flight price. Then if it has to go in a trolley, we put them on a trolley and send it to the correct dispatch, the what do you call the gate, the ramp area. Or if it is a container, we put up a container and send it to the flight. First thing is segregation. And as Kumudu said, if a bag comes without a label, then there are chances of it get entangled somewhere and it comes out without the label. Then what we normally do is check whether any specific identification on the bag. They contact the counter. If the identity can be established, then we will retag the bag. Otherwise, we will send it to the mishandled baggage section to sort it out later. Then once they put on the containers or the trolleys, it goes to the loading bay, and then the loading will start. And supposing if it is a multi-destination flight, and if somebody has wrongly loaded one bag in a wrong destination trolley or container or whatever it is, the chances of getting mishandled is very, very high. Because when you load 300, 400 pieces of baggage, randomly check the baggage level rather than checking each and every one. So this is what happened. It goes through it comes out of the checking area, then we sort it out, send it to the correct boarding on the boarding gate to the bay numbers, and then the loading has to be happened. And if the loading guy mishandle it for some reason, put it in the wrong flight, put it in the wrong place, the chances of getting mishandled. Otherwise, I mean, if you compare the mishandle rate, I think the industry standard is one bag for every 1,000 bags handled or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. If you look at the statistics, I think we are still within the industry standard, unless, of course, if there's exceptional circumstances like weather or some disruption, mechanical failure or something like that. This is how it is. Once you leave the bag in our custody, it gets sorted out, then it put on the correct flight, and you will collect it again on the belt at your destination. If it is a single destination, if it is, as Kumudu said, the transit is involved, the same process again: unload, sort, sent to the next flight. I mean, if you have more transit area, the chances of getting it mishandled is slightly higher than single sector flight. But now with the scanning and the technology, I think overall the industry is maintaining its given standards.
Fabulous. You noted, you mentioned the evolution of the technology. I think Kumar, getting back to you, so the technology has changed. Long time ago, there was a physical ID. Before you board the flight, you need to identify your bag so that it will be loaded. Even during that time, was there mishandling happening?
Now, actually, as Sasanka said, I mean, now we use actually a baggage reconciliation system where you can, security wise and like safety wise, we can identify the passenger baggage when it comes to the ramp area. Like by matching the baggage tag number, sequence number, passenger name, seat numbers, and everything will be involved. So technically wise, it's very advanced. I mean, system introduced by the airlines and the airports, airport authorities. So they are trying to minimize the mishandling of bag. I mean, using the current technology. Compared to earlier days. Earlier days actually it's a manual process. Now it's totally become a system wise segregation and reconciliation.
Yeah, so the chances of human error has been reduced to next to zero with the support of the technology that is available. That's what you're trying to say.
Again, sorry, I can't hear you properly again.
Audio, right, fine. Sasa, going back to you. So tell us about unloading a bag and sending it to the arrival bin. What happens during that time? What are the activities that happens?
There's a sequence
can I rejoin again because I can't hear you properly again. I didn't hear your question even.
All right, okay.
It's okay.
Yes. I understand the technical glitches. Yes, you may. So getting back to you, Sasaka, what happens? Flight arrives, and what we see is we get off the flight, we come to the baggage belt, and we see our bag. Is there a lot of activities in the ramp that has to go through to ensure this happens?
Definitely. Number one, there's a sequence of unloading to be done. That is, one thing is the safety. I mean, if you start offloading, remember recently a United Airline aircraft had, to sit on its tail because people have, so keen offloading the aircraft first than passengers getting off the aircraft. I'm not talking about the safety concern. There's a safety concern also. But normally the baggages are sorted and loaded according to the class wise, first class, business class, economic class, like that. So since they pay more, we are duty bound to give first class and business class passengers a priority service. So we load them large, and on arrival we will offload them first, and we dispatch them to the arrival as early as possible. And there's a time frame. Every airport has its benchmark time. Business class passengers have to reach within this period of time, and all we try to comply with it unless some other reason. So once the business first class passengers baggage gone to the arrival, then the normal offloading will come, and we will put them in the trolleys. If it is a containerized aircraft, we will offload the entire container and send to arrival. If it is a narrow body aircraft where the loose loading is done, we will offload them and put them on trolleys and sent to arrival. And then again, there's a the benchmark that within this much of time you'll have to offload the entire aircraft. All baggage has to reach the arrival belt. Industry standards are there. We always try to keep up with those standards, but sometimes unfortunate things happen. It keeps on breakdown and so many other inclement weather. But most of the time, we manage to do it. That is the sequence. Last wise unloading and send.
So clockwise unloading and then dispatch to the arrival console. Kumud, when we say now, Sasanka mentioned there is a estimated time that people have actually done the walk, done the timing, and they have done the immigration clearance and all that. They come to the belt and they do a timing and say, okay, this is our standard time. We want the bags to be there. But does all the passengers come to the belt rushing in and collect the bags, or there is passengers who go around, do the duty-free shopping, and then come to the belt and find the belt running around in the same belt?
Yeah, it is. So I'm. Yeah. Now I'm compared to the. Now I'm talking about Oman now. We moved to the new airport, and earlier what passengers they used to pass the duty free and they come to the collect the baggage. Now with the new airport is totally different now. It's the duty free shops are in the separate area and the baggage carousels in another area. So there are some chances that the passengers they collect their baggage late or due to immigration issues. Also, we have some delayed clearance from there. So sometimes the passengers if they won't take time and they'll come and collect the bag late. Otherwise, the passengers those who want to clear immediately they collect the baggage and they leave the airport. So as Sasanka told that there's a benchmark time, yes, of course, and they have to deliver the baggage within that period, unless if there's any problem happen at the ramp area.
So now there is a mandate. Sasanka said the first time business class passengers they are paid more. There is a duty that we deliver their bags first. The bags come in. Do you put the first time business class and cabin crew bags first on the belt?
It is mandatory now. Actually, it's mandatory, and you have to scan the bag now before you unload any bag. You have to scan it. So,
wow.
So then by scanning, you will be able to know what time the first class bag offload onto the belt and what time the economy class bag unload to the belt, and also the first and last bag. Also, we are scanning what time the first bag unload and the what time the last bag unload the belt. So
fabulous. So that's your ensuring the statistics indicate that you have delivered the bags within the designated time.
So
all right.
By end of sorry, can I add some more? Let's say now it's and each day and every month. So statistics wise, they will monitor this process, which is happening to the particular airline standard, like as per the requirement. But it's happening. I mean, like the baggage will get offload within the period that they have assigned for the ground handler.
Yeah. So the ground handler is evaluated on the KPIs. The key performance indicator, and one of them is to ensure the passengers' bags are delivered on time.
Yes,
fabulous. Ramp has a big role to play on keeping these KPIs.
True, yes.
How do you now? What we see is I get off the flight, I go to the baggage bin. But for you, when you go into the ramp, you see a lot of aircrafts just landed. How do you put on that? How do you ensure this timely delivery happens?
Same thing, if you take loading an aircraft, I mean, if you load the aircraft properly, the destination, the guys who are manning the ramp, their job is making much easier. I mean, if it is, haphazardly loaded, then it is something else. So because of that, because we have to, the KPIs to be met, we organize adequate number of manpower, adequate number of equipment, and all those things before the flight arrives. So, I mean, pre-preparation is much needed if you want to meet these KPIs. But if you go there and start looking for equipments and all, then you will not be able to do it. Based on the load, based on the location of the flight and all, the pay numbers and all, we take extra precautions, like sometimes we need to deliver them rapid. So in that case, we will use instead of a tug, we will use a flatbed lorry, half lorry or something like that, that kind of a thing. It's depending on the location and the load, and preparation is utmost. If we expect 400 pieces of baggage, I mean, you have to have more equipment, more manpower, plus rapid transportation systems, rather than handing in 200-300 pieces of baggage.
So pre-preparation of the flight, you know what aircraft that is coming in, the passenger loads coming in, so you need to be pre-prepared so that you have the adequate manpower and the equipment required. Same goes to arrival. Kumudu, tell us, arrivals come in, loads of arrivals happen at the same peak time. That's why it's called the peak. You have a peak in the baggage carousels. How do you manage that?
Now, compared to all airport, now we have, as I said, that we moved to, we have now 10 belts actually arrival area. So the current situation, okay. So now they have pre-planned system, not like earlier. They have a pre-planned system like. Let's say now we have multiple arrivals within say 10 minutes, let's say half an hour. So they allocate the belts load-wise. I mean, let's say if in one aircraft bringing 300 passengers, the other carrier bringing 100 passengers. So then they will see if we'll say now we have 10 belts and 15 flights are arriving within half an hour, and they will allocate the belts load-wise. Like let's say example, like from Madras you are bringing 100 passengers, and from London you are bringing 200 passengers. Then so at that, if you cannot allocate to one belt, and they will see the they will see the loads, and they will allocate in one belt 2 flights at the same time. So this is the only way to like manage your like when you have multiple flights arriving, and when you have less belts to allocate to unload the bags.
All right, so we've come to a point where the discussion is heading on to handling peaks using optimum resources, the resources that we have. So optimization of the resources management system. We will save that subject topic for another day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Sasanka De Silva and Kumudu who share their expertise for the new people who are keen to join the aviation industry, as well as those who are in the aviation industry. Sasanka, your advice to the new generation who are keen to join the aviation industry, as well as who are already in the aviation industry, especially a chaotic area like RAM. What is your advice for the youngsters?
Yeah, number one, the aviation job is a very interesting job, because every day you encounter different set of problem, different set of people. If you like it, stay there. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. And the other thing is, keep your mind open, and always do not be afraid of asking why not. These two questions will take you a long way. Sometimes some of the supervisors may not like it, but the thing is, if you start digging in, why are you doing this way, why are you not doing this way, maybe you will come up with a different way of handling, easier way of handling. So ask so many questions. I mean, there are some people who do not like, but there are some people who are willing to help you. And I think aviation, the limited scope is there Sri Lanka because of the political and economic reasons. But it's a very interesting job. And the other thing is you get to travel overseas. That's a very, very bonus thing. I mean, traveling overseas for a Sri Lankan, most of the Sri Lankan is a dream. So what I say is keep working on it, learn, ask questions, and as Shanta said it in the website, you will see the horizon soon.
Fabulous. Thank you, Sasanka. Kumudu, baggage services is another chaotic area. The people you see is actually coming and us looking for their bags. They come with sort of frustration, I would say. What is your advice for people who are planning to join the aviation industry and they end up in the baggage services, or the people who are already in the baggage services? What is your advice?
First of all, I would say it's a very interesting job at the baggage services. Of course, we don't see happy customers at the baggage services. Maybe you will provide the best seat in the world, best meal on board, but at the end, if you don't see your baggage on arrival, and then it will be a disaster. You don't see happy customers at all at the arrival area when your baggage. When your baggage gets mishandled. So my advice is actually, if you're going to work there, should be a very kind-hearted person, highly motivated, and should have worked very efficiently and meet. I mean, to give your best service to them. But I would say it's a very interesting job, finding bags and return to the customers, and so when they get their baggage, how much they are happy, and it's really actually a very interesting job.
Thank you, Kumudu.
My advice is actually, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt you something?
Yes, please go ahead.
No, because the thing is, when we joined Air Lanka, it was managed by Singaporeans, and I still remember the station manager was one Mr. Peter Yim, and he told, if you want to learn the aviation, first place to work at amateur, because you never see a happy customer over there. Everybody who comes, he got a bag torn or lost or something like that, and then if you learn how to deal with these people, yeah, then you will get really seasoned.
Indeed. So this two of the things that I gathered from both of your ideas is the best place to learn customer service and the entire essence of aviation is to be in the baggage services. You need to be kind-hearted. Reuniting the bag and the owner, or the final version of the service recovery. We settled the bag. Now this is the opportunity for us to win the customer back. That is immensely satisfying. Kumudu was, his eyes lit up when he said, "It's happiness. It's the happiness when you see the other person getting happy, reuniting with the bag." Fabulous, Kumudu. Thank you very much for that. With that, we leave the program, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to see you soon with another Tete-a-Tete with Tuan. Hope to see you all once again. Thank you.